You guys really want me to do this? Why? Why? This is a legitimate question. Why? This is a legitimate answer. Fuck you. Why? I really wish I didn't watch this movie. Give me a break. I have a girlfriend. I mean, I didn't watch it with her. Was I supposed to? Oh, wait. Immediately, the movie starts with the main character. There's some definitely air quotes around main character. Some melodramatic bullshit too, I guess. Herself to the audience. Someone talking about dying for somebody she loves at this point. It's nobody. Just about her having to move into her dad's house cause her mom going on vacation. Please draw the line. Please, I'm going to level with you. Let's play a little game. And you're gonna fucking like it. I am going to say Bing every time I need a break from this movie. Not even 2 minutes in. Also, Bing. She had to have her pet cactus move in with her dad house, and then she goes to high school. And right off the bat, you're in front of some douche high school girls. Now, the movie just established nothing. Fucking nothing. Now, feed me. This idea, everyone just instantly likes her or has a crush on her. Bing. And then the popular vampires enter the cafeteria and are introduced to a bunch of blah 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 gossip. And then we are introduced to Edward Cullen. Don't get used to the name being funny. It's currently not. But like the trillionth time you hear it, he's always looking at her. She's going to throw up. And then he instantly disappears. Aren't we supposed to be moving to the fucking plot? Bing. Okay, let's do something. Please, and then he comes back, and then they have unpleasant conversations with each other. Luckily, some black dude, just as tired of this movie as I was, and tries to run over her with a minivan. Unfortunately, the vampire boy jumps over and saves the boring bitch, stopping the van. And of course you think people see this and his cover is blown, or as you think. And so the colonizer has a mood swing while the boring bitch there tries to figure out what his deal is. And then just half an hour of mediocre high school shit. You know what? Worse than the vampire part in Twilight? The not vampire part in Twilight. Bing. While the colonizer finds out there's nothing interesting about her, they become friends and pick up prom dresses or something. What does this guy have to work with? Then some rather bros come up to the window and start making rude gestures and making them then later that night, while she was working home, the rude gesturers cornered her in a dark alley. They're all like, "Bitch, where you going at the dress? You know what? Let's go gangbang her at this hoe." Okay, guys. Real Kristen Stewart is like between a 5 and a 6. Perfectly inappropriate, I may tell you. Just nothing I would work with kind of level. And definitely not like work with your bros material that assuming best possible scenario, I might add, by the way. And every character in this movie thinks she's pretty. Fucking bizarre. There's like 7 of these dudes. There's only one of her. Think about it for a second. How hot would a girl be to go for 7 to 1? 7 to 1. That number doesn't even register to most people. Hell, 3 to 1. Anyone going 3 to 1? Anyone going 3 to 1? So to the gay guy, you're kinda gay. Do inappropriate stuff with your shitty vampires. As much as possible, but nobody thinks she's that attractive. Anyway, luckily for her, the colonizer is there to save the day by doing well. He doesn't really do anything. He just shows up, and all the gangbangers just run off away. For some reason, DJ Colin Rowland takes Bland Sauce out to dinner and says stuff like, "You would not believe what those guys say they would do to me. 7 to 1. No joke. 7 to 1. I can read minds, by the way. But no, not your mind. I can read your mind." And then she asks if there's something wrong with her. Yes, there's something wrong with you. Fucking think. And you don't fucking do anything. And then Blandarella touches his hand, and it's cold. This is important for some reason. Put that down on your important path for important things that would happen in important movies. And there's a point where she's vigorously Googles information, and there's a montage of flashbacks, and then it's just half an hour of me. Holy shit. Of past scenes. I can't really convey this into words, but the scenography is it's terrible, and it's just god damn it, ding. And then boring girl leads vampire boy into the woods alone, and she's all like, "I know your secret, Meep," and well, I guess. And then she's processing. You are a vampire. And then he throws her on his back, and then he screams, "I need you to show who I really am." And then he super speeds up the side of a mountain. And the Academy Award for Worst Visual Effect goes to, well, at least this shit we already know about, and this movie's over. Anyway, Squidward Collins steps out in the sunlight and sparkles. Let's see, superhuman condition, attractive good looks, fashion sense, thirst for blood, and sparkles. What we're really dealing with is a class 5 homosexual. Since human blood will go right to his hips, and that's hips with a lisp, not hips. The Colin Crusader is sworn not to drink human blood and says he has an unsuitable urge to drink her blood because it's low in cholesterol or something, and ironically compares drinking animal blood to tofu. And then he's like, "You better stay away from me. Bad news, clearly you want the person you shared the most intimate secret with you to go away forever." So they decide to be together despite his air quote condition. And there's this boring bunch of scenes where she's asked him a bunch of questions. My favorite part of the vampire trivia is that Edward's sister can see the future, but sometimes the future changes. That's not called seeing the future, that's called an assumption. I have the ability to see through glass. I don't try to market it as a superpower. So then Colin Crunch decides it's a good idea to introduce his human girlfriend to the rest of the Collins. And then there's like, "Hey, we made dinner." And Gaywad is like, "She kind of already ate." Fucking bitch! And then they slip away and dive off the window, completely ignoring the scene in progress. Then Squidward scaled up the tree like a Superman with the hair on his back. Okay, I was taking the Academy Award for the previous thing, and there's some ding introducing boring moments, and then there's a scene like, "Babby girl, have you been getting late tonight?" And she's like, "No, father, I stay in my room." Then she goes to her room, and Colin is there, and he says, "I watch you while you sleep." This whole movie is saying he's a homosexual stalker. And then there's about to make out, and he's like, "No, let's play baseball with my family." And then they play vampire baseball that can only play when there's a lightning storm, because why? The noise, is it? The noise? I don't know. 3 other vampires and I decided to join in. The baseball, and there's like a woods up ahead. Wait, hold up, bro. And then he makes up eternal vendetta on boring girl for some reason. And Lord Colin is like, "We gotta get you out of here." And she's like, "What about father?" And Colin is frankly like, "You know, your father is like a cock block." And she goes to father and runs away. So then the Collins help the boring-atron 5000 hide from her pursuers. What is anybody's motivation right now? Why does this random vampire want to kill this boring bitch nobody else has to sit through this fucking movie? Why would Colin Clan give half a shit about her? They barely even know her. Then again, you could summarize her whole personality on a gutter noise or something. So that probably is a point in her favor on that board the dramatic card down. Gets a call or something, and he's like, "Yo, bro, I got your mom or something. So wander off alone," and shit's. So yeah, she wanders off alone, and the bad guys all, "Whoa, bro, I can't believe you believe that shit." And then he starts to smack her, and then out of nowhere comes Redwood Colin, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I'm just gonna fucking bite her." And then the rest of the Colin crew shows up, and it's like 7-1. So the crew shows up, and it's like 7-1. So so the colonio has to suck up the blood or something without sucking too much. That's gonna be a challenge in this movie. And then Blando Meter wakes up in the hospital, and her mom's like, "Bitch, you fell down the stairs." After that point, my attention span was just done. Then went to the prom or something, ding. And the cardboard says, make me into a vampire. And he says, no, no, die old or something because teenage girls are terrible. I mean, this is what I mean, really. I mean, after a few minutes of talking about Twilight, you're hot and bothered, right? I just spent my day watching Twilight. You think I have friends?